Hey yo, what's up, you guys? Uh, for one, Merry Late Christmas. I know I didn't do a video on Christmas, and that was mainly because, well, one, there wasn't like any action figures or stuff that needed to be reviewed, and second of all, yeah, um, and plus I just wanted to kind of just enjoy it. Um, but I guess one thing that is here that I can show you is that I got these new earbuds. Not that that much does matter to you, but if I actually ever make gaming videos, which I'm hoping to do at some point, I should get a SIM card for this phone so I can have more storage. Because, like, my tablet, it has a lot more storage, but the SIM card, like, adds a whole bunch. So if I can get that, that'd be great. So I can, um, you know, put the Xbox app back on my phone and upload gaming videos to YouTube. Even though you won't hear me speak or anything, you won't even see me. It'll just be gameplay, but it's better than nothing, right? So, to begin with, oh yeah. Well, this is an action figure review. This is not a New Year's review. I know there's like Marvel news and not so much DC and Star Wars news. Well, I mean, I haven't covered the stuff that um, was announced a few weeks ago, but I'm too lazy to. Don't worry, there will be a video where I do talk about like all the shows and stuff. Um, but today we're reviewing the DC McFarlane multiverse Batman Flashpoint. So this is a standard box. It has, this yes, this window. If I could, I would insert a picture of Mace Windu here because I apparently can't pronounce window. On the other side, there's just Batman Flashpoint. On the top, there's more window. And on the back, there's a picture of the character and some other characters you can get. Of the characters that are on the back of here, I want to get Dawnbreaker. And there's like a lot of villains that I want. And luckily, I have my first one. So here is Batman Flashpoint, which I'll explain more, but the card also explains it. So here he is. This is a Target exclusive, by the way, as far as I know. So you shouldn't be able to find this at Walmart. If you can, well, then you can call me out, and yeah. Actually, please don't. I'm not that important. Here's the card. That kind of sounded depressing. Oh, hold on. I'm not that important to where you need to call me out if or correct me. That's the right term. Because that term before did not sound nice. That's not what I meant. But so anyways, so this is Batman Flashpoint. Here's the bios on the card. So, in an attempt to alter the course of history, the Flash traveled back in time to save his mother's life. This, however, resulted in the crisis-level event known as Flashpoint, rippling across time and changing the world as we know it for the worse. In this alternate timeline, Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne survived their deadly encounter in the crime alley years ago, but their young son Bruce was killed instead. Driven by the death of his son, Thomas became Batman, though this Dark Knight is far deadlier and more ruthless than the vigilante hero his son would have become. So yeah, basically what had happened was that Flash went and changed something, and they apparently like altered so much stuff that Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne survived and not Bruce. In case you're wondering what happened to Martha, they don't mention this in here. She became that version, that the Flashpoint's Joker, and she was very. It was very depressed. It's an interesting read to read about Flashpoint Batman, but it's kind of depressing, and it's not suitable for younger children. So, please, if you have kids, don't let them watch anything to do with Batman Flashpoint, because he's really ruthless and really dark, more dark than the regular Batman. But here he is. And in case you're wondering why I said this is my first villain, ooh, I just noticed a scuff there. unless it's intended to be a blood mark. Which, if so, that's a little much, but all right. But this, originally it was a hero, but he eventually kind of went really bad. He partnered up with Bane, and let me think here. He partnered up with Bane, and he kind of took over Gotham, and his whole goal was to make his son stop being Batman. And he went really far doing this, and because he went so far doing this, I've made him a villain. Or at least I didn't make him a villain, but I in my mind, I think of him as a villain now. Because obviously, like I said, he partnered with Bane and some other villains. Bane in this story actually murdered Alfred. And yeah. So he went really far. And he actually was almost beaten early on. The Bat family at that time actually beat him to a bloody pulp, and they could have ended him. Like Huntress, I think, wanted to end him, but Tim Drake didn't allow her to, which I'm gonna be honest, resulted in them being captured and beaten up. But yeah, he fought. But I mean, obviously, Batman eventually, the Batman we know eventually beat this guy, and I don't know what happened to him afterwards. I can't remember what happened to him afterwards. But yeah, so this Batman also kills. So this is why, other than this standard accessory, which is a stand, he has 2 guns. Now, personally, I would have liked to seen, the other things he used, like bombs and stuff. I hope we get to see that more. But yeah, he has 2 guns, and they have holsters, as you saw. I will demonstrate putting this in. That's pretty easy to do. That just is... that I don't know if, that is pretty menacing. I'm not gonna lie, this Batman just screams menacing. Not medicine, menacing. Because I know it sounded like medicine to me for a second. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, they both have holsters, and it was a pretty easy fit to get into his hand. So you just slide it in, and they sit there pretty well. Pretty sure these are the same guns that they gave to the Red Hood that they made. In case you're wondering if I'm ever gonna get that, no, I don't get multiples of a character unless it's a different version. Or is so different that I'll get it. For example, there is evil versions of Loki that have basically become their own character, whereas there's a main Loki that has been a good guy. I don't know, it's a weird thing. If you don't understand that one, then you're gonna have to understand that when I finally get the Loki that I want. So let's look at the figure. First of all, amazing sculpting. The metal parts here just look fantastic. And all the straps and all the wrinkles and stuff just are great, dude. Everything is sculpted so well. And you got these metal parts here. The cape is sculpted pretty nicely. It's not soft, but it's very flexible. So there's that. It's extremely sculpted, and then I love how this is sculpted. You can really see it, but yeah, this is really nice. I know there's a variant of this coming out where I think I don't think he has a sword, but where it's an unmasked Thomas Wayne head. I don't care for that, because even though that would be cool and I would love that, I don't see the use of it because of the whole thing of I would probably just put the masked on version anyways. Like, there's a lot of characters in here that I'm super glad I have at least like at my dad's place and the action figure collection. There's a lot of like characters that I have here that have unmasked versions. It's just like unmasked faces, and I don't use them because they look cooler with like their costume, you know. Unless they don't have like a face mask or cowl or anything. But yeah, so this is really cool, honestly. Like, this is super cool. He also sculpted the treads on his feet, which is nice. I will say real quick, I know you're going to see this in the articulation, but that can bend really far and it looks really ugly. So, oh yeah, I didn't give you a good look at the guns. Here you go. I mean, they have like some silver dry brush to it, but it's nicely sculpted and everything. Good quality, good quality. So, articulation time. His head can go up that far. His head can go down that far. It can go side to side. There's a little bit of tilt. His arms move up that far. They've got a butterfly joint in there. He's got double jointed elbows, although they reach, almost single joint length because of this. And he's got wrist joints that you can twist it around and make it go either way. It can swivel. He's got a diaphragm joint that allows him to crunch that far forward, that far back. Swivels and it goes side to side. The legs go up that far. Yeah, you don't really have a thigh swivel, but they have. He has double jointed knees, and he has the same joints that he has as the hands on the ankles, which on this figure I don't really care for, but they can go around. It does kind of technically have ankle swivel or ankle pivot, and he has toe articulation, as you saw earlier. So, by the way, I have no idea how I'm gonna pose this guy because he seems really cool, and I want to get him in a really cool pose. If you hear it talking, that's obviously like my dad or the TV or something. But yeah. So, in case you're wondering, there's a lot of DC figures I'm hoping to get. It's just not a lot of them have shown up. I'm patiently waiting to get the Walmart exclusive Deathstroke, because Deathstroke is one of my favorite villains in the DC universe. So, well, I do hope you enjoy this video. I don't know when the next video will be, because school is going to start up pretty soon here on the 5th of January. But hopefully you see me again soon. I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you did, like, subscribe, and if you feel that it is worthy enough of sharing, share. Without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.